She looked you dead in the eyes and said, "I'm done." And your whole world stopped. Your chest got tight. Your mind started racing. You replayed every fight, every silent dinner, every time she turned away from you in bed. And you thought, that's it. She means it this time. But what if I told you that the words she said aren't what she actually meant? What if the finality in her voice wasn't closing a door, but a test to see if you finally show up differently? I'm Noah Allen, and today I'm going to break down exactly why she sounds final even when she isn't, why most men hear words and panic, and what you can do starting right now to read what's really going on underneath. Stick with me because this might be the most important 20 minutes of your marriage. Here's what most men don't understand about the feminine. When your wife says, "I'm done," she's not reading you a legal verdict. She's giving you the emotional temperature of where she is right now. See, men speak in conclusions. When we say what we mean what we say. If a man says he's done, he's usually done. But the feminine communicates through emotion. Her words carry the weight of how she feels in the moment, not necessarily what she's decided forever. Think of it like a controlled burn. You ever see firefighters intentionally set a field on fire? It looks terrifying. The flames are real, the heat is real. And if you didn't know what was happening, you'd think that they were destroying everything, but they're not. They're burning away the dead brush, the dried out weeds, the stuff that's been choking out the new growth for years. And after the fire clears, that's when new life comes in, stronger, healthier, with deeper roots. Her words are the controlled burn. They're real, they're intense. They carry real pain, but they're not the end of the field. They're clearing out what's been dead between you for years. The problem is, most men see the fire and run, and the reaction is what actually destroys everything. When you panic, when you flood her phone with text, when you rush to prove you've changed, when you beg, plead, or over-apologize, you confirm exactly what she already fears, that you're not grounded, that you're not safe, that you're still the same reactive man she lost trust in. And now her storm got worse, not because of what she felt, but because of how you responded to it. So let's get into something first that you need to understand. When she says, "I'm done," or "nothing will ever change," she's not issuing a final ruling. She's testing your foundation. So let me explain. Think about a sparring partner in the gym. When your sparring partner throws a hard jab at your face, he's not trying to end you. He's testing your guard. He wants to see if you flinch, if you drop your hands, if you panic and swing wildly. If you crumble, he knows your defense isn't ready. If you absorb it, reset, and stay in your stance, he knows you're solid. That's what she's doing. She's throwing the hardest shot she's got to see if you can take the hit and stay on your feet. "I never loved you. I'm seeing someone else. You disgust me." These aren't her final conclusions. These are her heaviest weights that she can throw at you emotionally and check your emotional foundation. And here's what most men do. They crumble, they get defensive, they rage, they withdraw, or they go full nice guy and they beg her to stay. And all those responses say the same thing to her. He still can't hold this. He's not safe. What she needs to see is a man who can stand in the storm, breathe, stay grounded, and say something like, "I hear you, and I get why you feel that way. I'm not here to convince you of anything. I'm just focused on becoming the man I should have been." That's what we call masculine emotional leadership. It's not about fixing the moment. It's about being the man who can feel the full weight of her pain and respond with strength instead of fear. She's not looking for a speech. She's looking for a man whose word is backed by action, a man who doesn't flinch when the pressure rises. And right now, every time she tests you and you crumble, you're proving that the foundation hasn't changed. But when you hold steady, when you don't chase, don't panic, don't collapse, something shifts in her. Her nervous system notices. She may not even realize it, but she feels it. Because safety doesn't come from words, it comes from presence. Now look, if any of this is hitting home right now, I want you to know something. I help high-achieving husbands rebuild trust, rekindle connection, and save their marriage over here using the heroic husband method. Even if she's emotionally shut down, even if she says she's done, even if divorce papers are already on the table, there's a link in the description below to book a free clarity session with my team. We'll walk you through exactly where you are, what's happening underneath her words, and give you a clear path forward. That link is right below in the video. Go grab it. All right, let's keep going. Here's the second thing that you need to understand. And this one trips up almost every man I work with. When she sounds final, she's actually desperate for safety. I know that sounds backwards. She's pushing you away, but she wants to feel safe enough to stay. Let me give you a way to picture this. Imagine a ship in rough waters. The waves are crashing. The wind is pulling the ship in every direction. The captain is fighting just to keep the wheel straight. Now, what does the ship need? It doesn't need another ship chasing it around the ocean. It doesn't need someone on the radio screaming directions. It needs an anchor. Something fixed, something heavy, something that doesn't move no matter how hard the current pulls. When the captain drops the anchor, the ship stops drifting. The chaos slows down. And for the first time, there's stillness. Right now, your wife is the ship in rough waters, and she needs you to be the anchor, not chasing her, not grabbing the wheel from her hands, just planted, grounded, unmovable. But here's where it gets real. Most men have been rusty anchors their whole marriage. Sometimes they hold, sometimes they drag across the bottom. Sometimes she drops the anchor and it doesn't catch at all. And after years of that, she stopped trusting that you could hold her steady. So when she says, I'm done, what she's really saying is, I don't trust that you can hold this time. I've dropped the anchor before and it didn't catch. Show me your weight, not your words, that you're planted. See, she's not speaking from decision. She's speaking from exhaustion. She's been carrying the emotional weight of this marriage so long that she's tired. She's tired of hoping. She's tired of being disappointed, tired of believing that things will change and watching the same patterns repeat. There are bleeding points underneath her I'm done, wounds that go deeper than the surface. She's not just upset about last Tuesday's argument. She's carrying pain from the first time you made a promise and didn't follow through, from the time that she cried and you walked away, from the pattern that she's watched repeated for years. And those deeper wounds, they don't heal from a conversation, from flowers, and they don't heal from therapy once a week for 45 minutes. They heal when she sees a man who shows up every single day with consistency, emotional leadership, with a grounded word that is backed by his actions. Not for a week, not for a month, consistently over time. That's what rebuilds trust. That's what makes her nervous system finally relax. And that's when the finality in her voice starts to soften. See, most men hear, I'm done, and they try to fix it with a conversation. They want to sit down and talk it out, hash it out, prove her wrong. But you can't talk your way out of something you behave your way into. She doesn't need another promise. She needs evidence. She needs to see it in how you handle stress, in how you respond when she pushes you away, in how you carry yourself when nobody's watching. Your words mean nothing until it's backed by repetition. Every calm reaction says, you can trust my leadership. Every overreaction says, you're still not safe. This is about creating a nest, not a cage, a place where she feels safe enough to land, not trapped in a situation she can escape. When you lead with grounded presence instead of desperate control, she starts to feel the difference. And the difference is everything. And that brings us to the third and most important point. Her words don't make it final. Your reaction does. So let me say that again. She doesn't end the marriage with words. You end it with your response. Here's what I mean. Picture a surgeon in the middle of an operation. The patient's heart rate drops. Alarms start going off. The whole room tenses up. If the surgeon panics, throws down his tools, starts yelling at the nurses, the patient dies on the table. But if he takes a breath, stays locked in, and works the problem step by step, he saves a life. Same crisis, completely different outcome. Because the surgeon's response determines everything. You are the surgeon in your household. And right now, the marriage is on the table. And if you react to her I'm done by panicking, flooding her with apologies, trying to logic her out of her feelings, or worse, meeting her anger with your own rage, you've just confirmed the surgeon can't handle the pressure. And that's when I'm done actually becomes final. Not because she decided it, but because your reaction proved her right. Now, here's the part nobody talks about. I've seen men come to me after being served divorce papers, after even being divorced, after their wives have moved out, after she said she never loved them, after she started seeing someone else, and those men turned it around. Not by begging, not by chasing, not by reading another self-help book and hoping she'd notice. They turned it around by chasing how they showed up, by regulating their own nervous system before trying to regulate hers, by leading with presence instead of desperation, by becoming the kind of man whose words backed by his actions. Day after day, one man I worked with, His wife had already signed divorce papers. $15,000 in lawyer's fee just to see them twice, which is ridiculous. She was done. But he did the work. He stopped chasing. He stopped begging. He took full ownership of his role in the breakdown. He changed his schedule, cut out distractions, and showed up as a completely different man. And he did all of it without a single sign that she was coming back. Today, they're fully back together. New dreams, new goals, hand in hand, happier than ever. His old self is dead. And the man who replaced him, she chose to stay with. That man. That's what's possible when you stop reacting to her words and start leading with who you become. But you can't do it alone. And you can't do it with generic advice from the internet. This takes precision, strategy, a proven system, not therapy speak, not just be nicer, a real framework built for high-performing men who refuse to lose their family. So let me put this together for you. When she says she's done, she's not issuing a verdict. She's testing your foundation. Her finality isn't decision, it's a cry for safety. She's exhausted from inconsistency. She needs to see a man who holds steady. And what makes it final for real? Your reaction. If you panic, chase, collapse, or rage, you prove her fears right. If you stand, breathe, lead, and show up differently, you give her a reason to reconsider. Your wife doesn't want a perfect man. She wants a proud man, a man who owns his flaws, stay grounded, and says, I messed up, but I'm learning. That's the kind of strength that she can relax into and that she can respect again. Look, if you're watching this right now and your wife has already said those words, if she told you that she's done, that she doesn't believe that you can change, don't wait. I built the heroic husband method for men exactly like you. High achievers who conquered everything outside of the home, but feel powerless inside it. Inside this method, I teach something called the Emotional Learning Protocol. It's a behavioral leadership system with 3 stages: healing, shifting, and bonding, designed to rebuild safety, connection, and desire through visible, consistent action. Not therapy talk, not fluffy mindset work, real leadership training for your marriage. If you want the full framework, click the description and the link down below. Book a clarity call with my team. We'll map out exactly where you are, what's driving her withdrawal, and what to do next. You can also grab my book, The Heroic Husband Method. That is just $8.99. It's the foundation of everything I teach. Link is also in the description. Don't be the man who looks back a year from now and says, I wish I'd done something when I had the chance. Be the man who acted, who led. Be the heroic husband. I'm Noah Allen. I'll see you in the next one.